Museum is an immersive, interactive experience merging dance, history, and culture, coming to Atlanta in 2024. At the Twerk Museum, we trace the origins of twerking back to Africa, show how the art form evolved throughout the African diaspora, and teach both the historical and modern dances.
KiKi, if you want to start first.
Yes. My name is KiKi. I am the business director of the Twerk Museum.
All right. And Miss Nikki St. John.
Hi, I'm Nikki St. John, and I'm the creative director of the Twerk Museum.
All right. And that looked like fire starter. Is that what we see?
Ooh, yeah,
exactly.
See, I should have known with them glasses on.
Something. Yes, I am Joe, aka Firestarter. I am the choreographer and dance historian for the Twerk Museum.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so give me a little bit of history about this. I have my own history, but give me a little bit of history about the Twerk Museum. And any of y'all can answer this. Give me some history about it.
So the Twerk Museum is an immersive, interactive experience launching in Atlanta in 2024. We're celebrating dance, history, and culture. So the cool thing about the museum is we're showing how twerk originated in Africa and traveled throughout the world as our people were taken as slaves throughout the diaspora. Even though we've lost, connection to our religion, our history, our culture, the dances still remained. And we have lost the meaning of them. But with the Twerk Museum, we're giving you back your history and we're reclaiming it for ourselves.
I know that's right. Taking it, bringing it back.
Mm-hmm. And then also at the museum, we're going to have professional dancers doing the historical and the modern dances. We'll have instructors teaching you the dances, and then you have dozens of backdrops that you could choose to film your content on. And of course, all of our backdrops will be centered on places in the diaspora, places from Africa, the Caribbean, South America, and America.
Okay, so pretty much what you're saying is y'all out here, y'all not doing the twerking right.
What they're doing. We're not here to shade nobody's form of twerk, because what they're doing, they just may not realize what the history is behind the movement. And we just want to bring that aspect.
We are gathering them as well, sincerely. There is a technique behind our movement. And if
we're going to crown them, though.
If you can emulate us, we want to make sure that we teach you how to emulate us and why we move the way we move and what music it is aligned with and what our history is behind it. So since twerk has gone worldwide and people want to just look at it and mimic and have unintentional movement, we at least want to educate them on what it is they are doing.
I mean, I know as I watched the video, Joe, I was highly trying to educate myself because you was backing it and I was like, I mean, I women can get it, but I was just like, I mean, before we leave here, I'm gonna try to do it. It might have to have that, that whole African diaspora tour, but I can do a little something.
Okay.
Well, that's
white skin people gonna do a little something. I love it. So I know you guys.
You got options.
I got okay.
I said at least you got options. We have these different cards that are aligned with the Twerk Museum that we wrote out during Black History Month. So I do understand that the more Afrocentric style of twerk can be very difficult, but I promise you, there's something from America, there's something from South America, there's something from the Caribbean that you can do that will make you so proud of your twerk skills you just didn't even know it was in, and you'll be right at home.
Okay, so you saying I can't do it off of Nelly?
I mean,
well, let's talk about it. You can do some styles of twerk to Nelly. Nelly would be more aligned with our trap style, more of the US, more of the American type that is centered around a certain style of movement to a certain beat and cadence. Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't put a whole West African pump your back type of twerk to Nelly because it's got a different rhythm. If I'm eagling, I'm going to be low and doing something slightly different than I would if that wasn't a tune that was playing.
Okay, so I'm glad that we went there because, as you were saying, certain music gives us that extra, body, yaddy, right? To want to do that twerk. And Nelly's, Drop the Eagle is a great example. It's like, okay, we can drop the eagle, get back up, add the little extra in it. So what kind of music do you suggest, and answer, but what kind of roots do you want us to go back to and want people to understand, like, this is the real music, the drums, and this is the cadence that you're supposed to be going by when you're actually twerking?
It's so good that you asked that question because we actually have a Twerkingo playlist on Spotify that gives you a little bit of everything. So when we released our 4 cards, we created our playlist, and the songs that we have on there are songs that are trending now. But we have a little bit to represent each part. We have a little African songs. We have a little bit to represent each part. We have a little African songs. We have the South American. We have the Caribbean. We have the American. So as you go through the list, you'll hear which songs go with which cards.
So which card is your favorite? How many, give me like a couple of names of the cards that are in this card fest that you guys have out right now.
So these are just first 4 cards that we've released in our bundle. We actually have 12 cards and a bonus card, but during Black History Month, we're starting with our African, Caribbean, South American, and American twerk basics. So these are just the basic moves, and that pretty much anybody can do. If you come to our game nights here in Atlanta, which we host every Friday at 8 p.m., we will, if you're like a little bit more advanced, we'll give you some variations that you could try, and the variations tend to be a lot harder. My personal favorite card has not been released yet. It's going to be the Isolations card, that right cheek, left cheek.
Because she's the isolation queen.
Oh my God. Please.
She is.
Lord, teach.
She is.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and I need to be able to have the little, you're going to have a sidebar, for me to left cheek.
You could come to that online isolation class. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like my buns and still is going to be really hurting. Okay, Miss KiKi, what's your favorite?
I don't necessarily have a favorite as of yet.
Okay.
I'm just very happy to be here. But seriously, I really am. I just am really enjoying just being immersed in all of the culture. I think once I am a little more well-versed in the twerk technicians training, which I just completed a little while ago, I might feel differently after I spend a little more time with each dance style. But right now, I'm just kind of bopping around trying stuff.
Okay. All right. Miss Joe, 5-star.
Out of the 4, so out of the 4, naturally, the African card is always my favorite because it's the base of everything. But when we were creating this, I feel like Trinidad's favorite card is really the Caribbean card out of these 4, because that was the only time that she jumped up. Remember, you jumped up, whipped out your flag. Was that? Yeah, you jumped up, whipped out your flag, said, "This is my song," and was dancing around. That was the only one that she came from behind the camera because she was bullying my booty. That's the only one that she popped up for. So I'm going to say we had the most fun making the Caribbean one. The American one was the easiest one to do, but Africa's still the favorite, I think.
Oh my goodness, not bullying the booty. Okay, but that's another sidebar conversation. We're gonna have some KiKi on the ends, lady. What's going on?
Yeah, here we is.
All right, so how can one, as KiKi was explaining, how can one become a twerk technician? Like, how do you get certified with that?
Joe?
The twerk technician program, you basically can just sign up. Anyone can sign up, but everyone doesn't make it through the program because it's intense. When you go to twerktechnicians.com, we got several options for you: Twerkingo, the Twerk Museum, or become a twerk technician. When you sign up to become a twerk technician, you're basically signing up to intensely study African dance culture. You think you just coming to twerk, but you have the pre-study, which is all of like your twerk basics, because you can't embellish a twerk if you don't know the base of it. And it's just focused on movement. And then you do this 6-hour course that takes you through about 50 twerks, twerk history, twerk styles, people you should be following that are twerk pioneers, music that influence twerk culture. You know how many people do our program and don't even know who Uncle Luke is or who the twerk team is.
Cuss word.
They didn't know nothing. Yeah, they don't cuss word. They don't know anything about twerk until Juvenile dropped back that thing up where it's like, well, where were you with all the things that was happening before that? So we do that, and then they actually have a handbook, a practical exam, and a written exam in which they have to demonstrate a variety of different twerks, and they also have to demonstrate their power moves in twerk and do a written exam to get their official twerk technician certification. So it's about a 12-hour course right now, but we gatekeep it. We want to make sure that you are fully trained and aligned. And we even talk to people who are not people of color about our history. And we also encourage them to, hey, if you're playing this trap song, we encourage you not to use songs with the N-word in it. And when you're making posts, we encourage you to always highlight a Black, dancer, those kind of things, to just stay grounded and aligned with our culture. You got anything you want to say about twerk technicians? Y'all are both certified.
Yes.
I was gonna say, aside from the 12 hours, that does not include your independent study. So it's really longer than 12 hours. 12 hours is just the actual going to the certification part. There are hours that you need to complete outside of that. So this is not a cakewalk. I was very surprised at the amount of pre-work and intent, writing out that went into this. So this is definitely something you want to pursue if you're serious about learning, the history of twerk. But if you just come in to play, I wouldn't recommend that you come play, because this is not nothing to play with.
I wouldn't come play.
Play Twerkingo. Play Twerkingo.
Them knees will be tested. Them thighs will be tested. You gonna be on them toes. You gonna be on both of them hands. You gonna be doing all type of stuff in this training. And you need to be mentally and physically prepared to do these things.
Yeah, and let's not forget that you still have to submit a video after you've done all this, right?
Yep.
Know that you can accurately do all of these moves. So it's not a training for the weak.
Let me tap out. I'm tapping out now.
You really have to be invested in this. And I love the way that Firestarter structured the program, because it's like a real dance certification program, and it shows you that this is serious business. There's a lot that goes into
serious.
You have to know how to do the warm up correctly, the cool down, and make sure that people don't have any injuries, stretch them out. It's a lot that goes into it. And then my favorite part about the Twerk Technicians training program was the history that I learned in there behind it, because that's what I built, like the Twerk Museum on. Like the whole concept of the Twerk Museum is based on what I learned in Twerk Technicians training.
First of all, I love, how, first of all, it's all Black women doing it. Let's be clear. And I like how, Joe stated, hey, look, if you're invited to the cookout, I need you to be playing this type of song when you think you're about to, do one part of the twerk. So I appreciated that it's not just, how typically we do it. Hey, this is just for Black people. You're still culturalizing everyone and teaching everyone, because some of us don't even know the background, the backstory of twerking. I wouldn't even know or even thought about the twerk technician. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, we have other studies that we get taught, but not in so much in a deep in-ground of, hey, look, this is where it came from. Like, it's cute doing a little twerk, here, because I always try to figure out how the ladies in the clubs on the poles be doing it. The girl that did it with Usher's tour. I mean, I know some of y'all have been with some famous folks, but since the girlfriend twerking on the pole coming down, so it's like, well, wait a minute, what style was that?
You talking about?
That's my favorite move, is to be upside down in a handstand and twerking on the pole. That's my favorite.
I was just gonna say, you're talking about
They've done it.
They've done it.
Girls,
sincerely,
okay, they have done
it. You may not know this, but we trained and casted for Usher's Las Vegas residency. We worked with the ladies that you see in Usher's show, as well. So
I saw that, but I didn't know. I was talking to him in the middle. You know, y'all cast very well. But my God, you know, you just gave us a whole different type of twerk. The presentation of it all is amazing. So I commend you ladies for doing this. And now you have a museum that you're going to be doing. But let me ask this question real quick. What does your background consist of?
Ooh, okay. Culturally, I am Liberian. As far as my skills is concerned, I am a trained dancer. African, though I'm African, I still studied African, modern dance, tap, ballet. I took more to street dances like hip hop, and clearly I have a fitness background, but
Yes.
twerk and pole became my niche markets. And twerk and pole queen Nikki St. John, passing it to you.
Yes.
So my father's from Trinidad. My mom is from Rhode Island, Black, white, Native American family, I guess. I grew up in an immigrant community, so what was really important to me was showing the diversity, because you know, I grew up with so many people who were first generation or just not from America and who spoke different languages, but they were still of African descent. So it was really important to me to highlight that, because as much in the museum, because as much as we here as Black people in America try to fight to have our voices heard, it's even worse in, like, you know, like the Latinx community, or like in the Brazilian community. And, you know, we want to highlight those people and celebrate them as well and their achievements, because all of us come from the same place. But as far as my background, I was a dancer, a stripper for a very long time. And I really like that style of twerk. I like it. It's really sexy. It's sensual. I get to wear my heels. I like to twerk in heels. I don't really like twerking in sneakers or boots. I really like twerking in heels. And it just makes me feel sexy. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, see, I told y'all we're gonna have to keep with these sidebar conversations, because there's no sexiness here beside a beat face and a hairdo. Okay,
you think there's not.
The face card is there, honey. That's all. That's the entryway.
You got it. You just don't know you do. You got it.
Okay, KiKi, let's hear what you got. Let me hear. What's your background?
So my family is also Trini as well, in American. But my background is not necessarily in like deep dance. I fell into dance as a joke with my best friend. She has a very heavy background in like ballet and classical dance and tap and jazz, all the stuff. So we actually made a bet in high school that I should try for the dance team. And I was a competitive cheerleader. I was like, well, if we try for the cheer team, I'll try for the dance team. And neither one of us thought we would make it. And we both ended up making both the teams. And I ended up really liking it. I was a majorette. I loved it. So from there, I kind of transitioned into like go-go dancing, backup dancing, and very short-lived backup dance career. But yeah, for various reasons. But I did that, and then I met these lovely ladies, and then they introduced me to the world of pole. And then from pole, I slid into twerk technicians, and then boom, we're here. So I kind of have dabbled in a lot of things on my way here. And I know these ladies have, you know, they have their specialties and they have been in it for a long time. And though I may not have been in the industry as long as they have, I do have a dab of a lot of things going on. So I think that kind of helps that I know a little bit about everything.
It does. I was going to say that it does, because sometimes when you're in that just one position of just knowing that one thing, all you think of is just that one thing, and don't know how you can transpire to other things, because you're so used to, okay, just twerk, right? So if you come in and you have that ballet technique, you know, just saying, you know, you got cheerleading, right, but you know, just bringing it in, you can add a little, you know, a little leg lift or something. You never know what you can bring to the table. And I think sometimes we tend to sell ourselves short when we're trying to do other things and broaden out the scope of, you know, where we at now with the Twerk Museum. So this museum, tell me more about this museum. And then I know it's going to be, you know, how is it, you know, available, and what's the next steps?
So everyone can follow us on social media to find out officially when the museum opens and when the tickets drop. You can also sign up for our waiting list so you can be the first to know about the ticket drops. And then you don't have to wait till the museum opens to twerk with us, because every Friday night in Atlanta, we teach at 8 p.m. And then we have our actual Twerkingo game night. So you get to do one of the Twerkingo boards. And it's a party. It's a lot of fun. If you can't make it here in Atlanta, you can come online Saturday, 7 p.m. EST. And then we also have our digital Twerkingo game, which is currently available. You can still win prizes for the digital game. We got you. You also get your twerk history in there because it includes the ebook, 10 Things You Should Know About the History of Twerk. Twerk Museum is an immersive, interactive experience merging dance, history, and culture, coming to Atlanta in 2024. At the Twerk Museum, we trace the origins of twerking back to Africa, show how the art form evolved throughout the African diaspora, and teach both the historical and modern dances. That's when you're supposed to feel when you do the wiggle. If you don't feel that, your wiggle's not wiggling. Historical exhibits from Africa, the Caribbean, South America, and America are featured, and the dances unique to each region are explored. Like any good selfie museum, we have installations perfect for content creation, only ours are centered on dance and the cultures that birthed them. During Black History Month, we celebrate the various twerk styles found throughout the African diaspora. We teach dance moves popular in Africa, the Caribbean, South America, and America, as well as the history behind the moves. If you like game nights, dancing, or both, you're gonna love our Twerkingo game. First, learn the twerk moves from your Twerkingo game card with step-by-step instructions from your certified twerk technician's teacher.
Poke your chest and booty out and then cave your chest and booty in. Be sure not to throw your whole neck, shoulders, and back into it. It's a very small, precise movement.
Next, play the Twerkingo game. See how many twerk moves you can do. There are 4 different ways you can Twerkingo, and we have prizes for them all. Play in person, online, or order the Twerkingo game cards to play at home with friends. By the way, Twerkingo is more than just a game. Twerking is a great way to burn calories, get a natural butt lift, and channel feminine energy.
If you love to twerk, if you love to dance, no matter what your shape is, your nationality, it's a twerk for you. We can find your twerk. Because listen, if you got a crack, we can make it